train all the faculty. We say if you want to conduct this program, all the material is available, resource material is available, ready lectures are available, but still we see many of the colleges are not following the mandate which is set for them. Here we are losing the importance of this program because in some units it is not conducted properly. Fine. So today we, with the support of Honorable Vice Chancellor in charge, Professor H. Sudarshan Rao Garu and Professor S. Krishna Garu, who is the present registrar, and with the help of NCCIP, especially Vanchana Didi, I am able to organize this webinar. We thought of calling all of you here, but it will be very difficult for you to come. Maybe future training we may call, and we may organize one program here offline so that all of you can attend and know many more things about this student induction program. For now, I may have the privilege of inviting Dr. Vanchana Singh. Sirish, will you please share the screen of Didi? Will you please share the screen? Okay. So Vanchana Didi, is BSc Honours in Physics from Delhi University, MSc Physics again from Delhi University, and PhD in Condensed Matter Physics from IIT Delhi. She is an ex-associate professor Physics at Indraprastha Engineering College, Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh. Active member NCC, National Coordination Committee, Universal Human Values, AICTE. Currently involved in many UHV activities nationwide. So apart from this, she has a vast teaching experience in higher education for about 18 years, and she has published several research papers in high impact journals in the core domain of nanomagnetism and condensed matter physics. Since last 7 years, she has been involved in universal human values. She is an active member of AKTU Lucknow and volunteer member of NCC, UHV, ICTE. When we listen to Vanchana Didi, actually we have that soothing effect. Immediately we are very much attracted to her voice, attracted to whatever matter she is discussing with all. She is the very senior most person here in our UHV team, and fortunately I have been the regional coordinator for this student induction program for Telangana region and Andhra Pradesh, and I'm really indebted to CTE for giving me this opportunity. So now, Sirish, let us give a chance to Vanchana Didi to present herself. Of course, Sirish Reddy is my junior assistant in this Directorate of Faculty Development Center, JNTUA Anantapur. Hope all of you know me. Prashanti Madam here, basically a professor of mechanical engineering and presently Director of Faculty Development Cell. Of course, those who are new, for them I'm just sharing my introduction. Didi, can we go ahead, Didi?
Ji, namaste everyone. I hope I'm clearly audible.
Yes, Didi.
So I'll share the screen from my end, and I would like to interact with all, keeping it a very informal kind of an interaction where everyone can participate. So you have your mics with you, and at any moment you can unmute by raising hand. You can put up your query so that we can have a direct interaction. Will that be fine, Didi?
Yes, Didi, definitely, Didi. And one more information, we are streaming this in YouTube also. If anybody is not able to present, or if your colleagues ask you, you can share that YouTube link. Okay. Thank you, Didi. Let us go ahead.
I hope the PPT is now visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
So namaste everyone, and over here we all have gathered to look at the whole perspective which AICT is looking forward to through your cooperation at the institute level, how we can ensure this little but very crucial step in fulfillment of the aspirations that are articulated in NEP 2020. So, as we proceed, let's try to understand what are we looking forward to with this 21-day or 3-week program which is termed as the student induction program. So let me just ask this to you all. You all have been introduced to student induction program and might have been doing it in your college over the last 3, 4, 5 years. So let me just check. Are you being able to conduct a 3-week program, or it is usually less than 3 weeks? So you can just put your responses in the chat. If it is a 3-week program, you can put 3 week, or else less than 3 week. So you can just put less than that, so that we can have some idea regarding how it is being conducted in the colleges currently. Through the academic curriculum, we have to keep this 3-week pool for the students available. I hope the chat is accessible to all and you all can respond in the chat regarding what I am putting forth as a query. Whenever we look forward to this student induction program, let's check what are we getting as our students. These students who are coming to us in a professional course have gone through years of strenuous preparation. During that duration, they were mostly cut off from their social life, from their recreational activities. There was a lot of pressure on them. Now, when they come to higher education, like engineering or any kind of professional degree, we want them to blossom in all possible dimensions, which means as an institute, we all are working towards ensuring a full persona development of every individual, aren't we? Let's check. Now, this student induction program is designed for a smooth transition from this school environment, which is very much closed, to this higher education environment where everyone can take up their own set of challenges and blossom. And that is the first initial step where through the induction program we are laying the right kind of bed for them so that every individual blossoms to the fullest. In the remaining 4-5 years of tenure, when they are doing their bachelor's program, this induction program is conducted in the form of various activities at the student activity cell, the SAC as we usually pronounce it. So the various objectives of the induction program to begin with is that let us allow them to be familiar with the ethos, with the culture of the institute. One becomes aware of the institutional practices, the culture, so that they can ensure gelling up with the culture. Apart from that, while they were in school, somebody else was monitoring them on a continuous basis. Maybe they were living with their parents and the school environment and so on. But now so many of them have moved to newer cities. They have moved to a different environment. So setting up a healthy daily routine, creating a bond within their own batch as well as with the faculty members, the senior students, all that is very important for the overall well-being of our students. As a teacher, as a mentor, we all look forward to every individual who is joining our institute to blossom to the fullest. And for this purpose, an exposure to holistic vision of living, where one is developing awareness, sensitivity, understanding of the complete expanse of living, is to be ensured. Facilitating new bonds with the peers, with the seniors who are going to be there during their college duration and beyond, and helping every individual to overcome their weakness in some essential professional skills, whatever, because they're coming from different settings. When we say different settings, somebody might be coming from rural setting, somebody might be coming from an institute, a school where there is a lot of language barrier or maybe other hurdles. So all this induction program is intended to look forward to all these objectives while planning. Now, if we focus on the various SIP activities, this SIP activity constitutes a 9 module program which has been designed with the purpose that a student gets exposure to all the different aspects of a higher educational institute, that is college life. Of these modules, one of the module is the UHV module, that is the universal human values. Apart from it, there are these modules related to physical health and related activity, visit to local area, familiarization with the department, the branch, lectures by eminent people, various proficiency modules where one can look forward to their own weaknesses or maybe something which they find they are lacking. Within these 21 days, they can focus on that and can be at par with the other. There is a possibility of creative practices, other co-curricular activities, literary and literature activities, and a model design of this student induction program is lying here in front of us, where these are the number of hours which are being slated to each of these modules. This 3-week program focuses on instilling the Indian knowledge system, where the focus is on local, regional, national, international examples, where one can relate oneself to not only just the immediate surroundings but can see the expansion way beyond. So these modules are specifically designed, and within our student induction program, as per the AICT guidelines, at the level of institute, we need to provide that holistic panoramic view to our students. Now, over the last 4 to 5 years, so many institutes have taken up this initiative of providing the right kind of platform for their students, and they're putting up this effort so that the student induction program is carried with this commitment at the level of institute. As far as the information is concerned, all the relevant information on how to conduct the student induction program, in what way, and an e-sampler is available at the AICT portal. So one can have all the resource material available at one's end, so that every institute can get a very clear-cut idea of how to carry forward this induction program in a meaningful way. Now, one of the core of this student induction program is the sessions, the universal human values content, as we all can see this. So today our focus is on seeing how this module 1 is intricately woven with all the other modules, so that we can understand the significance of conducting these UHV sessions for our students. If we look at the whole program, out of this whole program, this UHV module is a 15 session program, with each session around 1.5 hours to 2 hours, which means this whole program is around 30 to 45 hours, whatever we can fit in within our own schedules. The model timetables are also available depending upon the nature of the institute. So if the institute is fully residential, we can start from 6-7 a.m. in the morning, and we can continue till late with our students with appropriate gaps. And if it is not a fully residential institute, accordingly we can fit in the various programs. So I hope till this point I've been forth. If there are some queries, some questions, we can quickly take those questions from you all. If there are some questions, some queries, you can put any question, any query. Before we proceed ahead,
Request all the participants to make this session interactive, because a bundle of knowledge is available to us. You can utilize this opportunity. Any question, please ask.
Good morning, madam.
Ji, please go ahead, Hari Krishna ji.
Yeah, madam. We are in semester system.
Ji.
If you spend 15 hours or 32 hours for the human values, universal human values, how it is possible to interlink with the regular studies, the regular curriculum? Is it possible to reduce the content in the total EHV sections? Is it possible?
In fact, if you just look at the experience shared by various institutes who have conducted a full 3-week program during their first semester, especially for engineering and other professional courses throughout India, it's the semester system which is working. And this has been a proven kind of a program. So spending these 3 weeks initially instills the kind of bondings as well as the kind of commitment at the level of students that the remaining duration of the semester becomes much easier for them. So spending those 3 weeks is really very, very fruitful. That is what has been observed by the institutes who are carrying forward it as per the prescribed guidelines of AIC.
Thank you, madam. 100% we do agree with you. We will try to improve ourselves. Thank you so much.
Soumya ji has been raising hand. Please go ahead. You can unmute. Somaya Saeed ji. You are raising hand. If you want to say something, inquire something, or put up your own viewpoint, please go ahead. So moving ahead with our discussion, we'll keep it as much interactive as possible. Let's understand how these sessions are interconnected. Starting from the session 1, where we try to know our own students. As far as this induction program is concerned, the ideal situation is that with every 20 students, we have a mentor, if that is possible. And for that matter, right amount of preparation at the level of faculty is also needed. And we can see that these faculty development programs are running by AICT, where the faculty can prepare themselves so that in the appropriate ratio of 1:20, we can carry forward these programs with our students. So the first session starts with welcome introduction, where the focus is that in order to ensure that the students are comfortable in this new setting, one needs to introduce oneself to begin with. As a teacher, as a mentor, I need to start from myself. And helping them also to look themselves as human beings and try to put forth their own introduction, so that one is able to relate oneself to his own family, to the society. What are his aspirations in living? What are his aspirations from the education system? Because these students are coming up with lots and lots of hopes within themselves, and they come up with lots and lots of expectation. So helping them to introduce this session 2 is focused on exploring the concerns and aspirations of the students. So let me ask this to you all, right? Do we want to be something or not? What is our basic aspiration? Is our basic aspiration to be something, which means to be some engineer, to be some doctor, to be some IAS, right? Let us check what is our basic aspiration. Is our basic aspiration to become something? We can ask these questions by putting why to us. Why I want to be something. For example, over here there are so many faculty members, right? We keep aspiring something or the other. Let's check. What do we aspire for? What is our basic aspiration? Is it to be happy and prosperous every moment? Or is it to get something? Success, money, fame? Is it to become something? For example, the best educator, the best researcher. What is our basic aspiration? We are helping the student to look at his basic aspiration so that one can see, as a student, what do I want to be? Do I want to be? Each one of us is taking some efforts, right? We are conducting these sessions so that the student can explore within oneself as to why I am engaging in this process, so that one gets clarity of one's own journey ahead. So through this discussion, we are trying to draw the attention of the student towards one's own basic aspiration of living a fulfilling life, which means to be happy and prosperous every moment. So let's check. What do you think is your basic aspiration? Is it to take some effort? Is it to become something? Is it to get something? Or is it to be happy and prosperous? 1, 2, 3 or 4. You can put your responses in the chat. Let's check what are your responses. Can we see this? Can we see that this 1, 2 and 3 are just the steps towards ensuring fulfillment of our basic aspiration? What should be our path? Should it be 1, 2, 3 and eventually reaching up to 4? Or can there be a program where I can ensure fulfillment of my basic aspiration and make my program accordingly? What do you say? Whenever we are moving from 1 to 4, there is going to be doubt and fear at every step. The student is full of these doubts. Let's see how do we start with our own children also. Beta, you do class 10 with good marks, your life is set. The child may score good marks in class 10. Again, with huge dilemmas. So again we put up a new goal in front of the child. Beta, you get good marks in class 12, your life is set. The child even does that, right? What we are doing is, we are shifting from one side to the other. The child is... Ji, please go ahead. Somebody wants to ask something. Please.
Some disturbance, Didi, I think. Nothing.
Okay. So now we need to help the student to look at one's own basic aspiration. Now the only thing is, if I am able to look at my own basic aspiration, only then will I be able to facilitate the other. So we need to check it for ourselves. Are we able to see that our basic aspiration is to be happy and prosperous? Are we making the program keeping in mind our basic aspiration? Or without understanding our basic aspiration, we are fitting ourselves into some or the other program which is guided by some external influences? So for example, right, when we ask, somebody says, I want to be the best programmer. Now let's check. Is it your program which you decided for yourself? Or is it that you looked around and you thought that somebody in your neighborhood chose to be a computer programmer, went abroad, right? And as per your assumption, you are believing that he is leading a happy and prosperous life. And based on that assumption, you are making some program, you are running in some path where you don't have a clarity where to go. So how do you like to plan your life? Would you like to plan your life without being clear of your basic aspiration, starting from taking some effort, become something, get something, and eventually looking forward to someday I will be happy and prosperous? Will that be the right program? Or develop clarity about your own basic aspiration. With that clarity, work out the steps backwards. What do you think is more fulfilling? Now, when we are discussing this with the students, we are helping them at this crucial stage, making the right program for themselves. Instead of feeling trapped, that look, I thought I would be able to do this, I end up not being happy and prosperous. So what would you like to plan for your own life? Plan the steps without being clear of your basic aspiration, or developing clarity of your basic aspiration, that is, every one of us wants to be happy and prosperous, and then working out the steps. Let's check. If I have clarity about my basic aspiration, my destination is fixed. I want to be happy, I want to be prosperous. I will evaluate my current state. If I look at my current state and I find that currently there are times when I'm happy, there are times when I'm not happy, I will start taking directed efforts. Directed efforts which will direct me towards my aspiration. But if I'm not aware of my goal, if I'm not aware of my basic aspiration, I may keep taking some or the other effort without any clarity. I can sit in the car, but let's check. Do we decide where to reach first? Or do we just start without deciding where to reach? We may keep roaming throughout the roads, but if the goal is not clear, can we ever reach anywhere? What do you say? Unless and until we look at our own basic aspiration, which is very much finite, definite, which doesn't change, I cannot decide the direction of my efforts. Once I'm clear of my aspiration, I can plan the steps accordingly that will connect and lead to fulfillment of my basic aspiration. What do you think? Is this clarity needed for every student or not? You can put a yes or a no in the chat. If there are some questions, queries, we can definitely take that in between. So now we are helping the student to explore within oneself that what is the possibility if one of my favorite path is closed. For example, there can be so many students in the class who might have been wanting to be part of some other college, maybe some elite institute, and they end up coming to our institute. Now let's check. Can we see that our basic aspiration is very much definite, and every one of us as an individual is trying to take a path for that? Now, if my favorite path is closed, Maybe I'm not able to reach to some elite institute, whatever I was expecting for myself. And I ended up being in some other institute. Should I continue being unhappy about it? Or my basic aspiration is to be happy and prosperous, and I can find an alternate path? What do you say? Can I find an alternate path, or I can continue being unhappy about not being able to make to the so-called institute which I was planning for myself? What do you say? Can you put some responses in the chat? We can just check. The students may come up with lots and lots of confusions with them. I wanted to go to US for my degree. I am forced to take admission over here. I didn't get branch of my own choice. My motivation to study is gone. I didn't want to get into institute I wanted, so I'm unhappy. Now this demotivated lot with no clarity, where will it land up? Isn't it essential for every student to get clarity within one's own vision? Why am I doing it? Is this question not important? As a teacher, as a mentor, should I not be able to facilitate my own student to get clarity? This UHV module is helping individuals to get clarity so that one can clearly look at one's own aspirations. What is the basic aspiration of each one of us as a human being? And look at the clear-cut program for it. The right way to proceed is to be clear of our basic aspiration first and then deciding the program to fulfill it. At the level of implementation, there can be several ways in terms of becoming something, getting something, so that our basic aspiration gets fulfilled. One needs to explore all the possibilities. Now, through all this discussion, something which the student might have missed during the school days, now that one is part of this new system of higher education, one can get an opportunity to explore within oneself that even if my favorite path is closed, something which I borrowed from some societal notions, I have a whole lot of possibility to explore new horizons. So, as a mentor, as a teacher, we are helping each one of them to look at their own concerns, their own aspirations, and carefully understand their own aspirations. Our aspiration to be happy and prosperous as a human being. Let's check. Do you want to be happy or not? Do you want to be prosperous or not? Do you want to be happy and prosperous every moment or sometimes? What do you say? So, helping a student to look forward to these proposals, happiness is to be in a state of harmony, and unhappiness is something where I am forced to be in a state of contradiction. Prosperity is a feeling of having more than the required physical facility. Putting forth these proposals, as a mentor, as a teacher, we are helping our students to explore within themselves their own understanding of these two words, happiness and prosperity. Right? Do we want to be happy every time, or do we want to be happy sometimes? Let's look at what we want. Ji. If there is some question, some query, please go ahead. Any question, any query? Sridhar Bhaiya is saying that we want to be happy only sometimes. Just check Bhaiya. Let's ask the reverse question. Right? Do you want to be unhappy anytime? Do you want? It's about your want, not your state. Sridhar Bhaiya, can you explore for yourself? Do you want to be unhappy anytime? We can just check. Do we really want to be unhappy anytime? Or is it that I may be unhappy, but I don't want to be unhappy? Can we see the difference? I don't want to be unhappy. I may be unhappy at this moment. This is my state. So helping ourselves to understand what happiness is, what prosperity is. Right? I just wanted to know how many of the people who are present over here have done at least one UHV program, one workshop, maybe a 3-day or a 5-day or an AICT workshop. Those who have done can please raise their hand so that you can have some idea. I just want to know how many have done at least a UHV 1 program. What I can see is some 7 people are raising hand. Rest people have not gone through any UHV program, is it? All those who have gone through the UHV program, the faculty development program, they can just raise hands so that we can get some idea. That will help us to interact accordingly. Okay, so what I can see is some 9 to 10 people are mentioning that they have gone through the UHV 1 or higher level programs. Remaining, let me ask the question other way. So I'm just lowering all hands. Let me ask the other way. How many people have not gone through any UHV workshop, any UHV program? So that we can have some idea. Right? We'll get to know. How many people have not gone through any UHV program? So that, again, there are just 7-8 people. There are far more people present over here. So they will either fall in category A or category B, I think. Those who have not done any UHV program, if they can please raise their hands. Okay, quite a number of people have not gone through the UHV program. Okay, really appreciate that you have been able to put that. Thank you very much. So now we'll be able to discuss accordingly. So I hope that the slide is clearly visible to you all. Through this UHV content, we are trying to look at our basic aspiration and helping each one. Some query?
My slide is not visible.
Slide is not visible. Okay. I'll just share it once again if it is not visible. Is it visible?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Didi.
So let's ask this to ourselves. Do we want to be happy or not? What do you get as an answer? A clear-cut yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Very nice, Priya. Thank you for responding. So, every one of us want to be happy, and we want to be happy every moment, right? Now, let's check. This happiness is to be in a state of harmony, something which I want every moment, which is different from excitement. Now, can we be in the excited state in continuity? Is it possible?
No, ma'am.
Right. Which means excitement and happiness are two different things. I may make some program for excitement, but there is no continuity. Can we see this? But I want to be happy every moment. I want to be prosperous every moment. So, for a student also, if we are able to draw the attention, right, that is what we are trying to put forth in the student induction program, where the student starts looking at what is the focus of my living. Is my focus of living entirely on accumulating more and more physical facility? Let's check as a human being. Will physical facility only suffice for each one of us? Which is very important for us to observe. Right? For example, somebody gives us this option. A genie comes in front of us and gives us this option that look, you have an island with all the physical facilities available there. You don't have to do anything. The only condition is that you will not be able to interact with any human being at all throughout your life. How many of us would like to grab that opportunity? Can physical facility only suffice for us as a human being? What do you think?
No.
We
Not
want
enough.
a big car, but are we just looking forward to a big car, or we are looking forward to someone sitting next to us in that car?
Someone sitting next to us.
Very true, Bea. So can we see that as a human being, my focus should be on all three: right understanding, relationship, and physical facility? Now, let us see, are we putting effort for all three, or 24/7, whatever effort we are putting is only focused on physical facility, assuming that the more physical facility I'll arrange, I will ensure my happiness and prosperity? Can we check that in our living? We all have spent 15, 20, 25 years into the process of education to acquire some skill, so that by the end of that process, we are able to earn our livelihood. Now, that is the effort that we have taken for physical facility. What effort are we taking to ensure fulfillment in relationship? What effort are we taking to ensure right understanding? Are we assuming that these are things which will automatically come to us? So, drawing the attention of each one of us towards this transformation, where every one of us can start living with this bigger circle into picture. My program for happiness and prosperity can only be ensured when I live in this bigger circle, where relationship and right understanding is included along with physical facility in the correct priority order. But if somehow my focus is only on physical facility, with lack of right understanding at the level of self, I am unable to fulfill relationships, which is making me unhappy, and to whomsoever I am related, it is making the other unhappy. With lack of right understanding within me, whatever physical facility I am utilizing, I am unable to ensure sense of prosperity within me, and I am exploiting, depriving the other. This is what is our current state. Through the process of education, does everyone requires this transformation or not? What is your take on this? Now, the student who is coming at this crucial stage, we are trying to put this seed where one starts looking at one's own progress. What do I want in my own life? Do I want to live with my only focus on physical facility? Will that suffice for me as a human being? Let's say for a cow, getting grass when the cow is hungry is more than sufficient. But that is not sufficient for us as a human being. Let's see how many of us are thankful that we are getting 3 meals a day. Let's see if our own mother throws the plate in front of us. Are we ready to take that? We'll immediately say, oh, what happened? Tell me, what's the problem? Why are you behaving like this? For a cow, there is no issue. Whether you throw the grass or you put the grass gently. If the cow is hungry, the cow will eat the grass. If the cow is not hungry, the cow will not eat the grass. But for a human being, relationship matters. So for a human being, if my time and effort is only going for physical facility, will it ensure fulfillment for me? I can check that. So do I need to ensure this transformation or not? Is this question important for me? What is my understanding of development? Do I always talk about more and more infrastructure means more development? Now this infrastructure is physical facility. As a human being, will physical facility suffice for me? And these are important questions. Now through all this discussion, we are helping each one of us to look at what is our desired state. Our desired state is achieved by ensuring right understanding, relationship and physical facility, all the three put together in correct priority, not neglecting anything. Physical facility is important. Look, without physical facility, it is not possible for me to communicate with you all. So I need a laptop, I need a desk to sit in, I need a proper Wi-Fi, right? I need a room which is ambient so that I can carry forward all this communication. So physical facility is not to be ignored, but only physical facility will suffice. That is a question. So for my own development, which means a holistic development, am I able to see that I need to live with human consciousness where all three are in the correct priority? That is for us to observe. With this, as we move further with our students, session 4 is focusing on the aspirations and concerns at the individual level. So when we ask our students, right, they want to be happy, they want to be healthy, they want to be prosperous, they want to ensure confidence, clarity in thoughts. These are their aspirations, and there are lots and lots of concerns. Extreme pressure of academics, time management, time lost due to illness, pressure of placement, overthinking, peer pressure, temptations. There's so many concerns that are lined up for them, and they don't know where to look for answers. With that cluttered state, we are loading them with lots and lots of academic burden, expecting that they are going to perform to the fullest. Will that really happen? Through these 21 days, through these UHB sessions, we are helping them to get clarity within themselves, where one can look at the right kind of a program to fulfill our aspirations. To fulfill our aspirations, we need to ensure right understanding at the level of self. We need to ensure relationships. We need to ensure more than the required physical facility. But the first part will be to identify how much we require. Is it not the domain of education to ensure right understanding? Or the domain of education is only to equip with the skill set? Somebody knows how to cook a recipe. Somebody is a very good chef as far as the skill set is concerned, but doesn't know which leaves to cook. Will that really work? Somebody may pick up any poisonous leaf, convert it into a good dish, good looking dish rather. Can we see this? Should education help us in ensuring right understanding, or should education only help us to acquire the skill set? Are we including both, or somehow we are neglecting? What do you say?
Somehow we are neglecting that.
Very true, Bhaiya. Very true. So, the basic issue that is present is the lack of right understanding. When we don't understand the reality, we're not able to live with fulfillment because the reality is missing. In order to resolve our concerns, we need to understand the reality so that the concerns are resolved. If we are not clear, we are making very topical kind of a program. Without looking at the root cause, our focus is mainly on treating a plant by dusting the leaves. So trying to look at ourselves as a human being. As a human being, I and body coexist. These are two realities. Self coexisting with the body. The more I am aware of this reality, the more I am able to live with awareness. In order to understand these two realities, let us look at our needs as a human being. As a human being, I need food. As a human being, I need happiness. But let's understand the difference between these two kind of needs. The food, who requires the food? Is it the self or the body? What is the purpose of the food? Who is needing the food? Body. So when we look at the needs of the body, whatever is needed by the body is material and is required with gaps. It's temporary. So I require breakfast, I require lunch, I require dinner, but I can't make it continuous. Can I really have my food in continuity? But let's look at happiness. Do I want happiness in continuity or not? And who wants happiness? Is it me or the body? True. Now, these are two different kind of needs. Can we see this? Now, if the needs are different, will they be fulfilled in the same way? Can the way in which we fulfill the needs of the body be the same as the way we fulfill the needs of the self? Or if the needs are different, the way in which they can be fulfilled is going to be different. What do you think? Whatever is needed by the body, let us check. Do we need air for the body or for self? Who needs air? Who needs air? Is it the body or me? The body needs air. Very true. Now let's check. Can we take in air continuously or we have to give gaps?
We need to give the gap, ma'am.
Very true. So let's check. Anything needed for the body is with gaps. It is in limited quantity. At one moment, I can only take specific amount of air. Unless I push out back, I cannot take air again. So anything related to body is intermittent, temporary, while anything related to self is in continuum. Now, if I don't understand this difference, I try to ensure happiness or respect by something which is physiochemical. So this car, I want to ensure my respect through car. Can I see the state of confusion? Respect is something which I want. This car is to facilitate the body because the body cannot travel 20 kilometers, so I need a vehicle. I will be straining my body if I travel 80 kilometers, so I need a car. Now this car is a physiochemical thing which will help the body, but I am connecting it to my respect. The bigger the car, the more respect I have. So I am seeking something which I want in continuity with something which is material, which is discontinuous. Can we see the contrast in our living, the confusions? Are we able to make that out? The body needs physical facility, which can only be fulfilled by physiochemical things which I am getting from nature. But I need happiness. This happiness can only be fulfilled by right understanding, right feeling at the level of self. It cannot be fulfilled by some physical facility. Now, we are trying to draw our attention towards what kind of a program we are making for ourselves. Are we making the right kind of a program? Let us check, right? So suppose I am fond of rasgulla. Now the first rasgulla that I put in mouth, I feel that I am happy about it, right? Now the second rasgulla, the third rasgulla, let us see somebody puts 100 rasgullas in front of me and starts forcing me to eat the rasgulla. Will that rasgulla be a source of happiness for me or now becomes a source of pain for me?
It's a kind of a pain, ma'am.
True. So physical facility is for the body. But if I associate my happiness to something physical, do I really understand happiness? Without clarity of what happiness is, whatever program I make, will that program suffice? For example, if you're sitting in a room, but you don't know where the door is, you may bang yourself n number of times with walls to check out how to get out. Once you know where the door is, do you ever make mistake? Every time you get up and you easily move out of the door. As long as I'm not clear of the reality, I end up doing n number of mistakes. Do I want to do the mistakes? Or these mistakes are indicators of my ignorance, of my lack of right understanding? Can we see this? Now, with all this discussion, we are trying to facilitate that one starts looking at resolution of one's own concerns in a holistic purview. For example, one of the biggest concerns is peer pressure for the students. Even this peer pressure is mounting on each one of us. Number of research papers. We all want to be accepted by others. We have this natural acceptance to be accepted by others. But if we are not having the right way out, we end up either copying the other or maybe being rebellious. So within the students also, right? Different people coming from different settings. So under the influence of peer pressure, either we give in to the peer pressure, which means we start aping the other, or else we start rejecting the other. None of the ways really work. It brings disharmony within us. The way out is to ensure right understanding. For example, language. What is the purpose of language? The language is a medium to express myself. But we can see so much pressure over somebody not being able to put up in English. Can we see this? There's a huge amount of pressure. People coming from rural settings not being able to communicate well because they are well versed with their local languages but may not be so comfortable with some language which they are not used to. But we are judging someone on the basis of language. If I understand myself as a human being, I'm able to understand the other also as a human being, and I can see that this language is merely a means of communication. I may know one language, I may end up in some part of the world where I may not know the language. What a big deal. Can language be a source of respect? That somebody who can talk like this, somebody who can speak like this, is seeking more respect. There are lots and lots of notions with which this young individual who is 18, 19 is being filled with. Through this 3-week program, we are opening up the possibility of moving towards a holistic way of living. One needs to take effort, of course. This is just the beginning. Right? We are not clear of the purpose. The purpose of the cloth is to protect the body. Without having this clarity, we try to seek attention from others. Can this seeking of attention from others ensure my happiness in continuity? So with all this discussion during the student induction program, right, this UHV1, when we look at this module is opening the possibility for the students. For this, the faculty themselves require a lot of preparation. They need to themselves get more and more clarity so that they are able to facilitate the student to look forward to resolutions within himself, herself. This state of happiness, something which we want in continuity, can only be ensured by right understanding, right feeling, right thought. This right feeling, right understanding, right thought is my responsibility. Nobody else can do that for me. We are just having little glimpse of each and every session. These are detailed sessions. As you become part of the workshops, you are able to get more and more clarity. This is just a glimpse of all what is discussed in details, much more details in the UHV workshops. So looking forward to understanding health. Once we understand ourselves as a human being, we are able to look at ourselves more carefully in a holistic way. One of the major concern of the students is losing time due to illness. Because they're coming to a new environment, there's a whole lot of possibility of them not being able to cope up with the new surroundings. Catering to situations. Ji, please go ahead, Bhaiya. You were putting some query, Bhaiya. Please go ahead. Drawing the attention towards the responsibility at the level of self. It's the self which is the decision maker. So for example, right, you feel like you get a signal from the body that the body needs water, which means you feel thirsty. Now, is it that the body will run on itself, or you make a decision? Maybe you are in the middle of some discussion, so you give this instruction to the body that, look, I am in the middle of the discussion, let me complete this part of the discussion, then only I'll go and have water. The body is not taking any decision. You are the decision maker. You are central to the human existence. So when you ensure the feeling of self-regulation, that's the feeling of responsibility towards the body, to nurture it, to protect it, to rightly utilize it. An outcome of it is that it ensures health for the body. All these discussions that we do are helping the student to look at oneself with this holistic perspective, to make one's own program. Within one's own capacity, one can make the right kind of a program without having dependence on external sources. So looking at the program for health, which starts from intake and daily routine, labor and exercise, postures for regulating internal and external body organs. We have to check what kind of a program are we ensuring. The moment there is a little headache, are we popping the pill? That's the first step that we took. Or we look at that somehow there is less oxygen going to the brain, so I need to enhance my oxygen level. That's why I'm having a headache. So breathing rightly, taking water. If you take less water, you end up having a headache. So are we looking at the complete program for health, or our focus is just on popping a pill? Will that really work? So understanding ourselves as a human being, as a coexistence of these two realities, self and body, where I can see that this body is my instrument. The physical facility that is required is in a limited amount to nurture it, to protect it, to rightly utilize it. The self and body are in harmony with the feeling of self-regulation in the self, so that health at the level of body is ensured. Health means where the parts of the body act according to self and ensure harmony, order within oneself. Through all these discussions, we are looking at different aspects of health, of living with fulfillment as a human being. Another concern of the students is relationships. So drawing the attention of the students towards these naturally acceptable feelings. Let's check what is naturally acceptable to us. Feeling of trust or feeling of mistrust? Do we really talk about right feelings, or we assume these feelings will be automatically understood? Those who have gone through the workshop, they have lot of idea about how these feelings, right kind of feelings, are slowly discussed. With the students, when we discuss it, it helps them to resolve their own issues issues of mistrust, anger, fear in relationships. With trust on intention, one is able to get rid of the root causes of such issues. A full course, that is UHV 2, helps one to get more and more clarity, but UHV 1 is laying that seed for the student, so that the student, when comes to the higher semesters, is prepared to take up UHV 2 with that commitment, that I am looking forward to living with more resolution in my living. So this induction program is helping them to look at their own issues, try to see why this anger is coming and what is the solution to this. Through all this discussion, we are helping them to understand oneself with more and more clarity. We look at the feeling of trust, feeling of respect, whether we are reacting or responding. All this is discussed in various sessions. Since we have a limited time, we are only having this glimpse of all what we discuss in the student induction program in UHV 1 module, and how it is facilitating the student to initiate more and more harmony within oneself. So one of the major source of seeking respect is this peer pressure. And this question remains unaddressed at any forum for the students. We are facilitating them to seek answers, which will require our own preparation, our own commitment. As we proceed with each session, we try to get more and more clarity. We try to facilitate them with more and more answers to understand these naturally acceptable feelings of affection, care, guidance. Look at the issues of ragging. Do we want to interact with the other, or do we want to rag? Within the institute, do we want to cultivate the feeling of relationship, or do we want to cultivate an environment of competitiveness and animosity? And all these are very important concerns and questions. We want our students to reach the industry and collaborate. Are we really providing them the environment devoid of competition, or every scheme, every procedure is focused merely on competition? There's a lot that we can discuss. Discussing the right kind of feeling. Are we able to see the gratitude? The feeling of love, the feeling of affection. This whole discussion helps them to look at, are we really working for comprehensive human goals, or we are just managing in the curriculum with lots and lots of assumptions, like money is everything, accumulation by any means, domination, exploitation, fear. So this whole program, which includes 15 sessions, extends from individual to family to society to nature. And over here, we are enabling everyone to look at the purpose of education. In this whole discussion, we have tried to give a glimpse of all what is put forth in the student induction program. Looking at the time, I'm holding this discussion and we can continue having more fruitful discussion in more times to come. If there are some queries, some questions, we can quickly take those questions, because today we tried to put all this in a 1.5 hour slot. So if there are some questions regarding the student induction program, the impact of all this can be clearly seen on the students. These students over a period of time are able to ensure the right feelings within themselves, and with those resolutions that they are going to take forward within themselves, they are able to focus more on their own studies, on their own commitments. They are able to find socially relevant projects for themselves. So we can see the complete expansion if we are able to ensure that vision within our own program. So with all this discussion from my end, if you have some queries, some questions, we can quickly take that.
Hello, madam.
जी
मैडम
प्लीज, जी जी श्रीधर जी.
मैडम ये बात कर रहा हूँ, जब बच्चे कॉलेज में आते हैं उसको इतना समय चाहिए कि अलग एनवायरनमेंट है, कॉलेज अलग एनवायरनमेंट होता है, किताब अलग एनवायरनमेंट होता है, और सभी कुछ कपड़ा इनका अलग एनवायरनमेंट होता है, कल्चर अलग एनवायरनमेंट होता है. उसको ये लगता है अनहैप्पी लगता है. तो हम लोग कैसे उसको सॉल्व करेंगे जी? हेलो मैडम.
जी
मैडम सुनाई दे रहा है मैडम?
जी जी, गॉट योर क्वेरी भैया.
ये बात है कि बच्चा जब आते हैं ना कॉलेज आते हैं ना बच्चे, उसको कपड़ा अलग है, एनवायरनमेंट अलग है, फूड अलग है, सब चीज अलग है
जी.
ये सोचते हैं कि जल्दी तुरंत एकदम चेंज होना चाहते हैं, तुरंत चेंज होना चाहते हैं. ये क्या है कि एकेडमिक प्रेशर बहुत दबाते हैं ना, और हम लोग क्या ये पढ़ना है वो पढ़ना ये कहते हैं. इसमें लोग प्लानिंग लैक ऑफ प्लानिंग एकदम फेल हो जाते हैं. उसमें प्लानिंग में फेल हो जाता है, जरूर होते हैं.
Got your query भैया. I just wanted to ask, have you gone through any UHP workshop भैया?
No madam, first time I am attending this one.
What I would request all who are present over here and have not gone through any UHP workshop to please spare time and go through the workshop. Because
Okay madam.
when we are
ये जो सवाल है, ये जो सवाल चल रहा है, ये सभी लोगों का सवाल है. ये
बिल्कुल भैया, आप
जैसा आपने इंडक्शन प्रोग्राम तो बता दे, ये अच्छी बात है, लेकिन ये हो रहा है कि तुरंत सवाल आंसर नहीं मिल रहा है इसका. तो
जी भैया. So there are no shortcuts. That's what I'm telling. There are no.
This is the problem. That is the problem.
Hello, madam.
जी Krishna ji, please go ahead.
First of all, I express my sincere gratitude to you for providing the valuable information to us regarding the UHV. My question is that, madam, nowadays the students, who just passed the 10th class or intermediate, really they do not have the sufficient time to play something, to spend some time with the parents, to spend some time with the friends. Really they do not have. The institutes, 10th class institute, intermediate institutes are pressurizing them to learn, to practice, to mimic something and write the exams. And you have to clear the exams with 100%. That is their mindset. My question from my side is that after completion of the intermediate, why the JNTUA or UGC or higher education institutions like AICP couldn't conduct a course for them, like 1 month course? The reason is that really they do not know about the higher education and what is the higher education, how we can go, and what kind of things we need to improve in our mind to choose our future like this. Because they do not know except about the BTech. If you ask anybody in Andhra Pradesh after intermediate what you do, their answer is only one thing: MSET or IIT or something. Most 90% they give the answer for MSET. So their mind is already 100%, I can say 95% polarized towards the MSET. So they do not have any option. Here my question is that really they do not have such kind of aspirations or getting. I'm not giving the 100%. 90% the students are like this.
Got your query. In fact, what we see is that all this pressure is not helping them to acquire their full potential as a human being.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But let's see, for ourselves also, what do we want ultimately? Whether I become an engineer, whether I become a doctor, whether I become a civil servant, whatever I choose for to be, eventually, am I looking for my own happiness and prosperity or not?
Absolutely. Actually,
Right?
madam,
With our own children, just let me complete. With our own children, do we ask them to look forward to their basic aspiration, or do we just ask them this question, what do you aim to become when the child is 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, without letting them explore any possibility? And this is happening around us everywhere. And that's why looking at the right kind of a program which will help our students. So what I request from my end, looking at the time constraints, what I request from my end is at least take that first step where you spare some time so that you can understand what is UHV and further take it forward to the students. I suppose Prasanti ji wants to add something looking at the time. Ji, Prasanti ji, please go ahead.
Didi, I just want to address the concern of Sri Hari Krishna.
Yeah.
Actually, Hari Krishna Garu, in intermediate also, this UHV module is there. If you have observed in the first year, it was there. And the students are expected to go through the module, and they are even made to take a test also. Of course, it is not a credit based, or it is not having marks. It is upon us how we are implementing these programs. The government on its side, it is advocating for the students to know about themselves and to know about the various options available to them. Definitely, university is also taking care of doing all the things, but only what we are lacking is the response from all the colleges. We have, for your information, 4 coordinators for this, especially the SCR region. For example, if you take, 2 are in Telangana, Ishrat and Geeta Devi, and here we have Jagdish Babu Bellam, who is there in Madanapalli Institute of Technology. So everything is there, but even we are finding it very not encouraging for us to train the people in the UHV. When once the change is seen in us, then we can change the society. Okay, so efforts are being made. Hare Krishna Garu.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Actually, we are very interested to conduct the MSET exam, JE exams, more exams now. Why the universities or AICT or UEC are not showing the interest to conduct a course like 2 weeks or 3 weeks for all the students? They have to clear that exam, like an introductory exam, so that they can acquire some knowledge about the UHP. I hope, because
that's what I'm telling. It's already there. And it is, if you see how it is implemented in intermediate, you will understand what is happening in all the colleges. Okay?
Thank you.
And even here in our universities also, student induction program, all the first 3 weeks are devoted for this only, okay, to properly induce the students.
Thank you for the information.
It gives a lot of time for them to explore about themselves and about the surroundings. Didi, just one thing, Didi, may have the liberty of inviting. Actually, I'm very happy to see Professor Hari Krishna Oruganti. If you remember, professor from NIT Warangal, who is also very senior most member in UHV actually. In NCCIP also is the member. So, sir, if you are there, can you share any of your thoughts here? Hari Krishna Garu, Hari Krishna Oruganti. Professor?
Yeah, hello, ma'am. Hello.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming online. Didi, let us listen to sir.
Sure.
Please, sir.
Now, this is an initiative by the.
Please, sir, please share.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes,
Nice to see you.
Yeah. So this is a very hard thing to do for all of us.
We are not able to listen to you.
Yeah,
sir.
whatever the concerns, the session was good. Whatever the concerns raised by Sridharji and Harikrishna Garu also, these are very genuine concerns. We are all aware, what is the situation outside, where the students coming from, and this is one way to make some impact. There are some better ways. One can take those better ways. This is one way, and we are trying something. The government of India is trying something. Everybody in the university team is trying something. This is working out also to an extent. But it's a very long-term thing. We cannot expect things to happen in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, not even in 10 years also. It's a long-term thing. Everybody agrees that this is required, but as ma'am was suggesting, see, every other subject, I can learn the information and transfer it. But this one is not an information transfer.
Very true, sir. Very true. The way of living will only come with practice. Very true.
So
The way of living will only come with practice.
So unless there is a transformation in me, right, it's not going to be effective. All of us will get certificates of FDPs also, all of us will get levels also, all levels of certificate 1, 2, 3, 4 also. But if transformation has not happened in a faculty, we will not be able to make an impact on the students. Also clear that it is not a just 6 months, 1 year thing also. It's a little long-term commitment expected by the faculty, and for which every faculty also may not be willing and may not be ready. That is also a choice. As far as I am concerned, I feel my role as a faculty is to work for my transformation, and as with that as the my strength to be able to make some impact on the students. And that will be very genuine only when I myself do this. I'm talking about trust, I'm talking about respect. Am I respecting everybody? Or am I showing ego? Am I truthful? Right? Do I have a higher purpose? Right? All these, very straight questions. First of all, we don't have answer, we don't have clarity. That change has not come in me. How are my relations with my colleagues, first of all? Before I speak about this relationship. Right? Do I have complaints on the college, in the department? So that is the only way I can see, and there are no shortcuts. But I watch for this way. It's the only way that is sustainable. It's a long-term project. So those who think that it can be solved overnight and done, that's not going to happen. But at the same time, you only think what can be the better thing. Ultimately, the transformation has to happen in everyone. So we have to keep trying, and I find this is one of the ways. So we are also at a native Warangal. We have been implementing it from 2018. So, like a good number of faculty coming forward from each of the college on a voluntary basis. In fact, if that happens, it will be ideal. It's not a voluntary basis. At least staying connected with the human values on a voluntary basis, actually, and at a personal level, will matter so much. So we have been having in-house FDPs, getting some resources. Like there are FDPs, so many FDPs by the ACT, they are doing it. But we felt as a college we had to do it much faster. So we had took out time, prioritize, and had many faculty go through this. About 100 plus, in fact, have gone through these programs in our institute. Before this, some changes comes in the students. First of all, there's a lot of change that comes in the faculty. First of all, right? Particularly among the relationship among the faculty, and many things happen. And it's a joyful experience to be part of it, and to be able to do such things as a faculty. It's very satisfying. And at the same time, these are not any sacrifices we make. These are not any extremely difficult things. I feel whatever investment I have done in this direction for myself for the institute, I will enjoy and got more benefit than what the efforts. It's only a matter of doing things a little differently because all of us from engineering, science, and different backgrounds, this sounds a little different and it's completely a different kind of activity where you do with the heart, not for the record of commercial purposes. So what is the different league? Please explore. Those who are not attended, please attend the online FDPs, but offline is much preferable. A lot of impact is there. It is actually equally difficult for faculty also. I can see that because they are also under a lot of pressure, a lot of constraints. But that's how the current situation is. Whoever can make an effort, please make it. That's it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind remarks. We'll be in touch with you, and we will like to see someday how you are implementing this program in Ananthapuramu, because there are a lot of questions like how to incorporate in our schedule. Most of the times, for us, as we have seen in AP or Telangana, the 3 weeks are not available for complete conduct of this C program. So what we suggested generally our faculty is that you can, what important points like maybe the visits or maybe some other sessions may be postponed, but try to concentrate on UHV and the general introduction to the institution and the visit of the places nearby and health concepts. So that it will be really beneficial for all the students. So somehow we have to conduct within the time given by our actually our Telangana state government. So we are trying our best to do this to make it a success. Hare Krishna Radha. Didi, over to you, Didi. Manjuna Didi. So any more questions?
Ji.
Yeah, any more questions from the participants? So we are always available to you. Our mail IDs and phone contact numbers are available in the ACT web portal. And we do get many calls regarding many aspects of this UHV and student induction program. Anything, Didi, to close the program? Okay. So thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much, Vanchana. I know you are very busy, you said, but still sparing your valuable time for all the faculty members. Actually, we had only the limitation of having 100 members for this meeting, but for that reason, we have shared that YouTube link where we also have many of the people joining. And I must thank Professor Harikum Uriganti Garu for joining this program, and all the faculty members who are really interested, because I know on a Saturday you will be on many other things, but voluntarily you have joined this program. For that I am very grateful to you, and I am also grateful to our university for giving me permission to conduct this program. Hope we see much more these programs in future. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all. And thanks all the staff who have supported and the students have supported this program. Thank you, Didi.
Namaste.
Thank you, madam. Thanks for the good information.
Yeah. Shall we close now, for now? And we'll meet again in all the meetings. So you can actually participate in the FDPs, AICT FDPs. We have provided all the information here. Thank you very much. All of you try to fill the feedback forms. The link is shared. Even in the YouTube streaming also we have shared the link. Please all of you feel free to fill the feedback form, and we are waiting for your suggestions. Thank you very much. Yeah. Shall we close now, for now? And we'll meet again in all the meetings. So you can actually participate in the FDPs. We have provided all the information here. Thank you very much. All of you try to fill the feedback forms. The link is shared. Even in the YouTube streaming also we have shared the link.
అప్లోడ్ చేయాలి యూట్యూబ్లో.
క్లోజ్ చేసేస్తున్నా.
పోస్ట్ లైవ్లో ఉంది అట్లా.
స్టాప్ కొట్టు.